All right. Hello.
I got it.
Hi. We are on another Tuesday on a roll,
Another live.
doing great. Another live, an amazing subject today. And
Yes,
the
let me just
subject,
start the broadcast on Instagram and
oh,
you can
yes.
check if I'm actually there.
Okay, go for it. Let's get the technicalities perfecto. Tell me
Yes.
once you have.
Yeah, I have it. Just check it.
Okay, one moment. One sec.
It should be on live.
Um, okay, I don't see it yet, but it might come up.
Okay,
I don't think it's live yet.
it's
Is
fine.
it going? Okay, cool.
It is live, but
Okay,
it is definitely live.
okay, good.
But
All
maybe
right.
I'm dead.
But maybe it's, yeah, hopefully not. Uh, okay.
Okay,
So
what's the day? Tuesday. And we
today
are
is
talking
Tuesday,
about
the Iron
the
Dome,
Iron Dome, the
the
Israeli
Iron
Iron
Dome,
Dome.
the Israeli Iron Dome. Yes. So for those who don't know, the Iron Dome is a very special technology that Israel has, which basically protects it against short fire rockets and missiles that come
Short range
towards
missiles, yes.
short range. Yeah, that come towards the main cities. Right. I don't think it's across the entirety of Israel, but it's the main cities.
It's
Is that right?
no, it's wherever it's located. I think it can protect somewhere of a radius of like maybe 30, 40, 50 kilometers. So it can protect the city. So they
Yeah.
have quite a few of those.
Yes, and it's just unbelievable technology. If you just look at some videos of it in action, you see hundreds of missiles being shot at the city, and they counteract the missiles by firing them out of the air. It's unbelievable. And it's
Firing
one of the
missile
things,
against missiles.
yeah, missile against missile. And it's one of the things that's made Israel so safe. Not, I mean, it's still so attacked, but yet so safe and able to expand, even being surrounded by enemies.
Yeah.
And the idea is that how do you take that concept of a place that gets so attacked, that does so well, that is expanding, but gets so attacked? And how do you take a look at that and say, well, what's my Iron Dome? Because as I expand and as I grow, there's inevitable attacks, there's hate, there's people that try to tell you to stop, there's the missiles that are thrown at you. And most people don't have a protection mechanism or technology to help them in those times. So that's really the subject for today.
Okay. So I think that if you look at any business, any relationship, anything that starts at the beginning, everyone have a kind of an iron dome. They first of all register the company. They have a
Mhm.
vet number and a tax ID, and they do this thing. They put all the legal requirements in place,
Mhm.
and this is when you least need it, but
Yeah.
it's the most there. And
Yes.
then
True. I think.
as you start to progress, you're so busy with the day to day that you forget about those things. And because you forgot about those things, they will become a problem only if you're successful. If you're
Mhm.
not successful and you didn't pay tax, it's not a problem because it's an income tax. You don't have income. Yes.
Yes.
If you're not successful and you didn't register your patents, or you didn't register the company, or you didn't sign agreements with your employees, proper agreements, or you didn't pay whatever on time, it's not a problem because who will attack a beggar in the street? If you're not
Right.
successful as a businessman, you practically for the business community a beggar.
A hundred
So no one
percent.
can attack you. Now,
Yes.
I don't know if you noticed that beggars don't have insurance, they don't have tax ID. The government
Right.
not run after them because they sold something in cash. It's like whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Totally.
So it applies only if you are going to be successful. If you are successful, you need to be really aware and you need to make sure that your legal requirements, legal rudiments are in place. And
Yes.
there are
Now,
two
before we
things.
can, yeah, before we get into the two things, somebody said Mayor's sound is very low. I hear you totally fine, but does everybody on here, can they hear you okay? Or I just want to
Let
double
me
check that
maybe.
we don't have.
How is it now?
Yeah, let's see if Mayor's sound is totally fine. Keep speaking. How about keep
One, two,
speaking?
three, 4, 5 second rule.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 second rule. Okay, we'll see.
Yes.
If you, anybody listening, if you can let us know if Mayor's sound is fine. Okay, Ashley says it's good.
Good.
We
Excellent.
trust Ashley 100%. Mitch says better but still low. Okay,
Okay,
so
maybe you raise
he says
the
it's
speak.
fine. Oh, he's at a
Okay,
different
great.
volume than Gal. Okay, fine. I'll be a bit
Okay,
louder.
good.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So I can do, yeah. Okay, let's see how is it going.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. So you were saying basically, in a nutshell, for those joining, anybody that's tuning in, I'll tell you what we're talking about. Israel has a technology that's an anti-missile technology that protects the city. Now, it allows Israel to continue to expand. Now, somebody asked, what do we mean by expanding? Expanding is if you're not getting better in life, you're getting worse. So expanding means that you are doing more with your business, with your relationships, with your self spiritually, with anything. You're reaching more into the world. Would you say that's a correct summary?
Yeah, yeah, that's basically it. So Israel is attacked, but it's because it's a successful nation.
Yes, exactly. So that's where I was getting to it. So the thing is, you want to keep expanding, but you are going to get attacked. If you're a beggar on the street, Mayor was saying, the beggar on the street doesn't get attacked.
Yeah,
The person that's successful does. So
yeah,
over to you.
exactly. So there are two things that you need to do in order to have your own Iron Dome. There are three things that actually, not two, three things that are actually going to make you totally secure. But there really can be summed into one.
Mhm.
So the first two things, which is not the one, is you need to get your legal requirements in. You need to pay your taxes, you need to have insurance, you need to have your legal requirements in. Agreements, tax, all of this thing has to be done in writing according to the law. Why? Because the law is is heartless.
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
law is heartless. So
Yeah.
you need to be, there's no negotiation with the law generally. Okay. So this
Yeah.
is number one. Number two, you need to have an excellent public relation. If you have a very good public relation and you are messing up a bit with your legal rudiments, you can live with that.
Mhm. Mhm.
You will see that politicians sometimes that have legal problems handle it by PR.
Yeah.
They handle it by PR. They're selling the pork to the Jewish by,
Yeah.
they handling it by PR. They somehow give a discount and the pork become kosher.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly. Yes. 100%.
So this is the two things. But the third one, which is overriding the other two, it's more important, it's more powerful, and it will prevent the need for the other two, and it will make sure that even if your PR is not handled and if your legal rudiment is not handled, everything will be fine. And this
Mhm.
is, you need to be ethical.
Yeah.
If you are ethical, bullets cannot hit you.
Right. Right.
If you are ethical, bullets cannot hit you. You are like a Teflon. It cannot hit you. It cannot stick to you. Nothing can stick to you.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Like-
So, but since everyone live in the physical universe and there's not one person that is totally ethical, other than me and you, of course.
Of course, of course. The only exception. Yes.
The only exception. No, other than my wife. Sorry, I'm sorry. I was wrong.
Yes.
Other than my
Exactly.
wife and your wife.
Yeah. And
Yes.
mine. Yes. Yes.
Since there's no one without exception that is 100 billion% ethical, it is a requirement that you will keep your legal rudiments and PR in. And there is a
Mm.
specific way to do that. And if you don't do it, you will fail.
Yeah.
And the way
Yeah.
to do it is to make a list right at the beginning. As you start your activity, right at the beginning, you need to make a list of what you need to make sure that is legal. So, which agreement do you need to sign with your employees? What about the taxes? How can you, what do you need to do so you pay taxes legally but not too much?
Hmm.
Legally but
Yeah.
not too much. Most
Yes.
people pay too much taxes because they simply don't understand the subject.
Yes.
So I have a friend that and a client that I'm helping that was supposed to pay a lot of taxes because he's doing well,
Hmm.
and it didn't make sense to me. It just didn't make sense to me. And we went from one accountant to another accountant to another accountant, and they all told us that, man, that's what he needs to pay. He needs to pay this and he needs to pay that. And I said, no, it doesn't make sense. He has one business that lost money, and he's investing in here, and this thing probably will not make money. And I don't think that. And they said, no, because of this and because of that. Anyway, I've insisted to look and look and look and look and look and look and look. And eventually I found a lawyer in New York that actually agreed with me and explained to me that those accountants just don't know the law.
Mm.
But it just didn't make sense to me that he
Right.
needs to pay so much tax. It's not that I don't want him to pay tax. I want him to pay tax, but not too much. I'm not
Yes.
against paying tax. You need to pay tax. It's better to pay tax than not to pay tax, because if you don't pay tax, it means that you don't make money.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
But so pay tax, but not too much. You need to be smart about it. So
Yes.
you yourself need to understand the basic of what does it mean tax. So it will give you the ability to say that it makes sense, it does not make sense. And the fact that the accountant says, no, you need to pay $900,000, you can say, do not make sense here.
Hmm.
You don't know which law apply and not, but you just know it doesn't make sense. And you insist and insist and insist, and eventually you will find that that's how you do it. And how
Right.
you do it is by spotting these things that do not make sense. Don't compromise with your own reality, and you will see. Now, when you will teach the Iron Dome, we will teach all the ways that how do you need to look at the situation, at the financial situation, tax situation, legal situation. How do you need to look at them so you can actually spot what do not make sense, and you will know, or you will be able to recognize insanities, things that do not make sense, outpoints better than the best professional in the market.
Yeah. 100%. It's amazing. And
Yeah.
many people don't have that because they don't have this knowledge of how do you navigate it so as to be competent in the area, even if you didn't study it, just because
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's the Iron Dome.
That's the Iron Dome.
Really,
So
this
for
is the
those,
Iron Dome.
yes, many
It is
people
the
don't know
tool.
that we're yeah, go on, go on.
Yeah, you got Gali.
I was gonna say that some of you might be listening and you've understood that the Iron Dome is a technology that Israel has, but we are creating a webinar series. It might be one or two segments that is called the Iron Dome, which will get you your own Iron Dome and get you your protection and allow you to expand and allow you to have that ability to navigate and see as you grow and as you succeed, even with the attacks. So,
Yeah,
by the way, just in case, you can put that up, the link up, but I think
yeah,
it's
I can do that.
gprosperity.com/Iron Dome for those that want to join. We made it a very affordable price. I think it's like somewhere around half the price it's going to be once we actually start it. It's starting not this Thursday, but next Thursday. So you can
And how
go
much is
there
it?
to the site. I think it's about, let me check, but I think it's somewhere around 190, something like that. Let me
Ah,
see.
so you give it for free.
Yeah, it's basically free of charge. It might even be less than that. Let me see. I'm going there.
While you're checking,
Oh,
most of
wow.
the people
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, go on.
most of the people when they think about tax, when they think about legal, when they think about the law, they think that it's complicated because there are a lot of pages to read.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, that's a big, big, big mistake.
Hmm.
Why? Because if you really understand the principle behind the laws, you will see that you just need to make sure that you are following the principle, and then you'll find a good lawyer or a good accountant in New York that will tell you which clause exactly apply. I didn't know which clause apply on that case of my friend or the guy that I was coaching, but I knew the principle. I
Yes.
understood the principle. So I was
Hmm.
not impressed by what the accountant says because I knew that, no, it's going against the principle. And the principle is very simple. If you make more than you spend, the difference you need to pay tax on. Yes?
Right.
But but if you make more than you spend in one business and in another business you spend also, there is a way to combine these expenses. And
Hmm.
for most accountants, they say, no, it depends which kind of company is it, an S or this or blah, blah, blah. It's really not important. If
Hmm.
you understand the principle, you can find a way.
Right.
And we will teach these things of how exactly you realize what makes sense and what is nonsense. What is this thing that actually makes sense? How do you find in the sea of information what makes sense? How do you recognize truth?
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what this Iron Dome is all about. Why? Because the ability to recognize truth is actually what makes you clever. Because clever is the ability to recognize truth. So if you will learn how to recognize truth in any situation, you will see that you'll be protected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Because the truth will protect you. The truth will set you free.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
Super powerful. Super powerful.
Yeah.
Amazing. So, just very quickly before we head out, I want to just read that quite a few people said hi here, and even some new names. I see Wesley Rhodes said hi. So, hi. And Eva Panek, hello. And Punam, hi, hi. And Anita and Lorna and Mitch, yes. And Natasha, Rushina. We have a lot of people. Yannick, amazing. Ashley, wow. Yes, lots of people on my side. And sometimes I notice that I miss some people that typed. I later see it, it doesn't show up. But if I missed you, it's just because I don't see it. Thank you for your comment nonetheless. And Avery and Tressa as well. Amazing.
Yeah. And I see that
And
someone liked my background. Yes.
yes, oh, yes,
That's the
absolutely.
most,
Natasha said,
that's the most important thing.
of course, of this whole thing, the most important is
Who
the
cares
background.
about all the rest?
Yes, it's so cool. I love the background.
Me
And
too.
Gerard said, hello, gentlemen. Hello, hello. And Eva Len said hi. So before we go, does anybody have any questions about the Iron Dome or about the upcoming webinar, which starts on May the 12th, I believe? Yeah, May 12th. And it's not $190. Today only, it's 137. So if you're interested in joining for $137, a program that will most likely save you years of worry, headaches, concerns while expanding, I highly recommend you join. I'll be delivering it. It's going to be super powerful, and I think you'll love it. So definitely go to the site. And if you have any questions until my dad comes back, type it in the chat so we can answer it. It can be about anything related to the subject of the Iron Dome, related to the webinar, or related to anything at all. Oh, Anita, thank you for your question. I'll ask Mayor as soon as he's back. So, yeah, send through the questions. Lorna, what is the program on May 12th? It's called the Iron Dome. You can go to gprosperity.com/Iron Dome. Lorna, you're already on it, which is great. That's part of the fundamentals. And basically, it's going to teach you how do you continue to grow, continue to expand, continue to have success, even with attacks and even with missiles thrown your way and haters. Because the more you expand, the more you grow, the more you get pushback, the more you get hate. So, how do you handle that? The beggar on the street, they don't have much hate. They don't have any legal issues. They don't have tax issues. But the person that's succeeding does. And how do you make it not an issue, but just part of the game? That's what the Iron Dome is all about. Yes, can't wait. It's going to be very useful. Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, I
Okay,
fixed the
there we
camera.
go. Oh, perfect. Hi. So the one question that we have, Abba, is what is the distinction between the Iron Dome and not needing to be safe?
Okay. So when you operate in a game that is insane, you need to play the game according to the rule of the game. So if you are playing alone, you just whatever, you don't need to be safe, you don't need anything. Yes. And how do you do that? By being totally ethical. But since we all carrying with us some out ethics, it
Yeah.
is better to play the game at the moment according to the rules of the game. And so you need to keep the legal rudiments, you need to keep the PR. And while you do that, improve your ethics. And the end result will be that you will not need it at the end.
Yes, amazing. Amazing. And by
Yeah.
the way, the legal rudiments, when you say legal rudiments, it's the basic principles, the basic things to tick off that will ensure
The
you're
basic
protected
requirements.
legally. The
Yeah, the
basic
basic
requirements.
requirements. Yeah.
And there are specific requirements you need to have. And if you don't, you will end up finding a fire, an emergency, a legal problem just because you didn't know what you needed to look out for at the outset. So that's what we mean by legal rudiments. Okay, that's what we'll learn in
Okay.
the Iron Dome. Not this Thursday, but next. Check it out. Thank you for tuning into today's live. And I love the
Yeah,
background.
and today, like,
It's
we
so
have a
cool.
especially short one because you're going to deliver another webinar in like 30 minutes.
Yes, I'm
So
starting a
that's
webinar
why
in 30 minutes. Although it
yeah,
was still 23 minutes, not bad. It's
yeah,
still a
not
pretty
bad.
good amount of time. We did well.
Yeah,
Yes.
we did
Okay.
well.
All
Okay,
right.
I love you.
Thank you, everyone. Love you, Abale.
Thank you,
Thanks for
everyone.
tuning in,
Love you,
guys.
Kali. Mwah.
Mwah. Love you.
Bye.
Bye bye.